nonstop people and questions and talking and networking and Tito's and club. And I just remember sitting there like I just felt like I just got off of a roller coaster ride. Hey, what's going on, Faster Freedom fam? Sam here, excited for episode 2 of behind the scenes of all of the businesses that I own. We're going to do a deep dive into Faster Freedom today. This is my online investing, education, and branding space. So this is something that a lot of you probably know if you follow this podcast or this YouTube, the Faster Freedom Show. This is that brand, but what you probably don't know is the origins of it and the numbers behind it and all of the roller coaster ride that we have been on financially over the past 5 years since starting this company. So I'm going to do a deep dive into Faster Freedom. If you missed last episode, episode 1 of this specific series was about Faster House, our flipping company that does 300 deals a year. Today, we're going to talk about Faster Freedom, the education brand. I'm going to introduce you to it, tell you kind of how it formed, why it formed, and then we're going to talk a little bit about some numbers and peel back the curtain a little bit to show you kind of all of the struggles and craziness of this online education space and everything that's going on with us. So with that being said, let's kind of dig into Faster Freedom because it is an online beast. We have 3.5 million followers on social media, over 2,200 students inside of our community, a few different products we offer, and a few different ways we help people. Now, before you get too worried about it, this is not a sales pitch. I'm not going to send you anywhere to get a free training or to get your credit card or to start a trial for something. I'm just talking straight business right now, and we're going to set the foundation for Faster Freedom in this episode so that in future episodes, you are able to understand a little more of what I'm talking about and where we're going with things. So back in 2019, I was a full-time real estate investor. I had been investing in real estate for 5 years. I had quit my job about a year and a half prior and was all in on real estate. In the mid to end of 2019, Lucas and I were closing on a 12-unit apartment complex. I've done lots of content on it since then, but I posted on my personal Facebook about the property and how we did it and a little bit of information. And I got legitimately flooded with DMs about it, probably 30 or 40 DMs, which was wild to me. People I knew, people I didn't know, friends of friends. It was pretty crazy and kind of caught my eye a little bit. Didn't think a ton about it, answered some questions, and then later that year, I don't remember honestly if it was the end of 2019 or the beginning of 2020. I know it was before the whole COVID pandemic, and we had an opportunity to speak at our local meetup. We host a local meetup here in St. Louis. Lucas and I speak at it once a year or twice a year. And we spoke at it, and we talked about how we went from 0 to 100 doors in 5 years. And it just garnered a ton of people's attention. We had over 350 people show up for the presentation, and it just really blew our minds. And that evening, I remember sitting out inside the car after we presented. It was probably 11 o'clock at night. We presented from 7 to 8:30, nonstop people and questions and talking and networking and Tito's and club. And I just remember sitting there like I just felt like I just got off of a roller coaster ride and going through all of my DMs in my phone from people that were there, people that saw us post about it online. I mean, there was legitimately probably 100 messages. And I sat there for an hour and a half answering them and thinking, I got to go home. I got to get home and get him to go to work tomorrow because it was a Thursday evening. And I just remember thinking, wow, this is something. So that kind of started Lucas and I talking. Maybe we should talk about real estate and what we're doing on a daily basis more. This was before TikTok blew up as an app. And for me personally, this is before there was this really online guru space. There was your bigger people that were doing it, your bigger pockets and things like that, but it wasn't the growth space that it is today. We thought, okay, let's do it. And I remember the straw that broke the camel's back for me was someone I knew. You don't know him. This is not somebody that you would know. I got wind that they were writing a book on the Burr method, and I thought, I don't think I know them. They've done 8 or 10 Burr deals. They legitimately have done less than 10 deals, and they're writing a book on it and calling themselves an expert. At the time, I had done about 100 because we just got our 100th property, 100 bird deals, and I considered myself some of an expert, but I didn't even know if I had the authority to write a book on it. And that was just the turning point for all these people are teaching and coaching and talking and selling on something that they don't do at a high level. We're sitting here full time, all day, every day, balls to the wall in this. I should be talking about this. So that's when I created the online brand FasterFreedom. You get the Mixture Faster House is the flipping company, FasterFreedom behind me if you're watching. I know a lot of you are listening on the podcast. So we created the FasterFreedom brand, and it was just a absolute whirlwind. COVID happened, everybody started going to social media more. I started originally just posting on Facebook and YouTube. I wanted to make a couple $100 every YouTube video I made so that I could have, a couple YouTube videos a month. Is like having a couple rentals a month, getting a couple $100 cash flow. So that's how I looked at it. But if you can't tell, I'm okay now. I was really bad back then at YouTube and talking and articulating. So it didn't do very well. Shocker, right? It was raw and authentic, so it did okay. But my delivery probably hurt it. The authenticity probably helped it. Regardless, it wasn't growing at the pace that I wanted. So I started posting on TikTok. And I started posting on Instagram, and I started kind of expanding my reach a little bit, and I kind of had a kind of a knack for this short form content style. Taking a somewhat complex topic and making it simple and understandable, and the fact that we were doing so many cool things, I had so much content to write about and talk about and make videos about, and things just went crazy. I legitimately was on a TikTok live, I remember in like 2021 when my TikTok was blowing up. And before the live, I'm a psycho in case you didn't know. I track and check stuff and I'm competitive and always tracking the metrics that I can. I looked how many followers I had. I went live for 45 minutes. A couple of my videos were blowing up. I had a couple thousand people on the live. And I looked and I gained 14,000 followers in like a 45-minute live. That was just like, that is a lot of followers. I probably gained 14,000 followers on TikTok in the past 3 months, and I did it in 45 minutes. So point is, things were blowing and going. Everybody was interested in real estate. Interest rates were low. Prices were skyrocketing. Everybody was getting into the space, and I was right there in the thick of that. The first year we were in business, in 2020, we had a course that was legitimately requested. So I was getting 30 to 50 million views a month on social media across all platforms, and getting thousands, tens of thousands of DMs across social media platforms of people literally begging me to coach them and teach them. I did not start with my innocent Facebook post in 2019 and presentation to create a brand, and I definitely didn't want to create a course and be a guru and be a pusher of a product, but people actually wanted it. So I created something called the Live Rental Academy. It was a 10-week program. I just sat for an hour a week. People were on live. I don't remember if it was on Zoom or YouTube Live, whatever it was. People just watched for an hour. People that paid me $2,500, and people had success with it because I was teaching what we were actually doing. One gentleman named Kayola bought 12 rental properties the next 12 months after being a part of that, and moved his entire family from Hawaii to St. Louis to be a part of what we were doing. And now he's got 40 rentals, the head coach of the program we have, and is changing lives every single day. We have thousands of rental units inside of our community. It's really powerful and really, really cool, and that was never the intention. And I think that's why it's been somewhat successful, because I don't want to be guru-y. I don't want to push you into something you don't want to do. It's just, I give away as much as I can for free on social media to help. And some people want their hand held. Some people want deals underwritten. Some people want a second set of eyes or a second set of ears to listen and hear and see what's going on, to kind of avoid the ditches and stay in the freeway, for an example. So that's what FasterFreedom was. That's how it started. And we are in the midst of revamping everything because this company is wild. I'm going to give you the numbers and team and everything just briefly now, and we'll dig into them in the future. But right now, this is a relatively small team. We have me kind of overseeing everything. We have one of our COOs. He's the operations manager of this company. He runs the day-to-day. His name is Matt. We have an operations assistant under him named Katie. We have a marketing department with kind of a social media helper and a couple different editors. We have a community success manager and a few coaches with some accounting support. And that's kind of it. We have outsourced sales and outsourced marketing right now, which have been their own issues in their own right. And we've done so much good, and we've stepped in our shit so many different times in this company. There's no playbook to an online education brand. There's a playbook to a flipping company, Faster House. Distressed properties, paid and free lead sources, put in the offer, wholesale them or close on them and flip them. It's pretty simple. Of course, the market affects things and marketing channels and what's happening, but how to build it is one simple way. You can deviate a little bit, but when it comes to online education, do you sell a $25,000 course? Do you sell a $10,000 course? Do you do a monthly subscription model? How do you tie in your social media? How much money do you spend on ads? How do you compete with the thousands of other people that claim that they are experts? It's a nationwide business. It's not a focus in just St. Louis like our other company, Faster House. So it's been quite the ride. We've went from making no money to making more money than I thought I'd ever make to back to making no money. It's quite the roller coaster. I don't think many businesses have a completely upward trajectory. We definitely do not. We made a lot of money for a couple of years and helped a lot of people, and the past couple of years have been really, really tough. Like our net income went down like 80% one year over year. So anyways, I'm going to dig into all the numbers in future episodes and hold nothing back, because I hope that you learn from this. This isn't trying to sell you into the course. This is just to teach you about business and the highs and lows and how we're bobbing and weaving. And if you find this interesting at all, make sure, if you're watching on YouTube, to subscribe and like and comment what you want to know about this business below. And if you're listening on the podcast, make sure you're subscribed and hit that, review. If you haven't, I would appreciate that, and the ratings and everything. And shoot me a message on DM and shoot me a DM on Instagram and tell me what you want to know about this business. So this is behind the scenes of Prosper Companies, my family of businesses. Next week, we are going to talk about my property management company. And then the following week, we're going to talk about our STL Reno, our rehab and renovation company. And then I'm going to do future episodes of certain things we're doing within certain companies, like FasterFreedom. Here we are offering it. We're coming out with a social media mastermind because we're experts there. We're coming out with some lower ticket, type of products that provide a ton of value to help more people, and we're still trying to figure out a lot of different things. So it's going to be quite the agility test for my business and finance, and I'm hoping you're going to be along the ride with me. So I appreciate you for being here. The best thing you can do for me right now is to like this and share this video or podcast with a friend. I would appreciate that very, very much. It's the best way I can grow this. Appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next one.